Hello everyone, today we're going to be making King Cobra's smoked salmon dish. So you're going to need a bunch of things here. You're going to need some kind of ghost pepper sauce. He had the ghost pepper sauce from Trappy's, but I went and looked it up and they don't make it anymore. You're going to need the Payne County Rust seasoning, which is what took me forever to get ordered, but it finally arrived so I can finally do this recipe. I haven't tasted it yet, so I have no idea what it's like. You're going to need some extra virgin olive oil, and you're going to need some liquid smoke, the Colgin liquid smoke. Now, I think his was mesquite and not hickory, but I got hickory because it's the only one I had in Walmart. So these are going to be the two substitutions, and my grease is a bit of a substitution as well. If you want to prep for this meal, make some bacon and some steaks and some cheese steaks in your pan, and then you can use that. What I just had to do is use a little bit of my the bacon seasoning with some butter and a little bit of bacon grease as well. But I had that for a little while, so this should be all right. And by butter, I mean I used Country Crock, which you're also going to need. If you have a fresh container, that would be better, but I'm just going to use probably the rest of what's in here. You're going to need a salmon, which I have a little over 1 pound of salmon. If you get 2 pounds, that's about what he had. And then you're going to need some Bud Light Platinum. Now, he had, I probably need another Bud Light Platinum for this, but I don't have enough. I only had this one bottle because I thought this would be enough, but my thing's a little bit bigger, and he was pouring a little extra in, so. All right, now my mother told me I'm not allowed to use the stove anymore because I make such terrible recipes, so now I have to use this, and unfortunately the cord isn't long enough to put it on the stove to cook over there, so we're just gonna have to work with what we got. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this to about medium high, so we're gonna go about, I don't know, 325 should be good, and we're gonna get lots of this butter in here. So take your fork, get some of this butter in here. You gotta use the side of this, it don't really matter. I'm gonna get quite a bit. And we wanna save some of this butter for later too, because we gotta put some more on top of the salmon. So this should be all right for right now. We'll do a little bit more. We'll get that melted down. Now we wanna get some of this liquid smoke started in here as well. So I gotta figure out how to open the container with no nails, which should be great. I'm gonna have to do a cut for this, aren't I? Now, I never had liquid smoke before, so I genuinely don't know what it tastes like. I'm gonna turn this down a bit. Smells pretty good though. I don't think the hickory is probably the best for smoking fish, but we'll do what we gotta do. Now you're gonna put a generous amount of the liquid smoke in here, and then we also have to put some of this extra virgin olive oil in here as well. So we'll put a little bit of this in here. That should be good. I'll mix around, use my spatula, and I'll mix this around to start. So I want to mix around my little bacon grease concoction as well. There we go. Probably even put a little bit more oil in there in a few minutes. Okay, good. Now, what we want to do when we start with our fish is we want to season the fish really well. So I gotta get another fork. That one's got too much butter on it. And we want to stab the shit out of this fish. We want to get enough fork holes in it where our seasoning is going to go everywhere that we want it. So, I mean, it's already murdered. It's going in this recipe. We want to murder it some more. We want to make sure there's a lot of holes in here so the juices flow right inside. And it's going to take about like a minute of doing this. And if you are cooking with one of these, make sure that you have some kind of window open. I got a window in the back there if you can see it open instead of using the hood. Because you want to make sure you don't set off your fire alarms if you got one. Almost done stabbing at this. Alright, that should be good. We'll give this a little more stir here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. All right, now we want to take our rust seasoning, which I should open up first. Surprised it wasn't open. I thought I did open it. I guess I did not. Put this down. We want to season this side heavily. So we want to go quite a bit on here. See if I can get it. There we go. And we're going to rub on the seasoning so we get it right in the cracks. There, that should be good. And that's almost heated up. I don't think I need anything else. No, I don't need anything else yet. Take this. Put a little bit more rust seasoning on there. There we go. Give this one more stir. Still gotta wait for it to come all the way up to temp. Now, as everybody knows, I love salmon, so we're gonna see how this is. This butter smoke mixture actually doesn't smell too bad right now, so we'll see if it's any good. Like I said, I never had liquid smoke, and this is probably gonna kill me, but this is what you guys want. Which I will wait for, trying to open this while I'm waiting for that to heat up. I have no fingernails, so this really sucks. Ah, I actually got it. I am impressed. Now I will have a little bit of this after I try the salmon, so I can kill myself live on camera. I'm going to obviously vagina out and have blue cheese and bread with this. I want to touch it with this hand. I'm gonna go wash this hand shortly, but I need to pick up this salmon, so that's why I haven't done it yet. Probably even go a little higher than medium. Uh-oh, somebody, a troll is texting me as usual. It's always when I'm filming videos that the trolls text me. Give this a little stir. Now I had thought, I think my pan is a bit bigger than Cobes is, my cooking pot. So I thought I might need a little bit more stuff than he does, but we'll see. Now you don't have to stir around your butter mixture, but I like to do it just so it doesn't burn while it's getting up to temperature. All right, our grease ball mixture, it's not quite at temp, you can see over there. But that's not a big deal because we're gonna add cold stuff to it anyway. So what you wanna do first is you want to put your seasoned side down. So we're going to put this down in there. We're going to season the top of this really well. Well, excuse me, I guess this would be the bottom, but we're going to season this really well. I'm going to throw this out because I don't need this no more. And we're going to put a little bit more butter in there, but I'm going to wash my hands real quick. All right, so we're going to put some more of this butter on the top of this. We want to heat it. We want to make sure it's buttery, delectable. I'm going to use probably most of the butter, and I'm going to put some in the inside too. Oop, missed it. No, this isn't the same fork I used to baste the put the salmon in with, to stab at the salmon anyway. It's a different one. But I'm gonna use the rest of my stuff here. All right, that should be good enough. I'm gonna put a little bit more olive oil in here. Drizzle some on the top, drizzle some around here. Probably way too much, but that'll be all right. We're gonna do just a little bit more liquid smoke right on the top of this. Put some on the sides too. And I got my note here, and then we gotta put the Bud Light Platinum in here. And get the top of this, and we'll get all around it. There we go. We're gonna cover cook it, so we get that side nice and crispy. Underneath there, some kind of dead spider. Get it? Thought I got it earlier. All right, we're gonna check it. Get that off. God, that Bud Light Platinum smells fucking terrible. The rest of the mixture smelled fine, but the Bud Light Platinum was awful. But we're gonna check it and maybe give it a flip here. See how's it looking. Yeah, we'll give it a flip. So I have the spoon here to help me flip it. So we're gonna take it from the bottom. We're gonna take the spoon and we're just gonna go nicely over. Oh, there we go. We'll give it a little baste as well. Let the bottom cook for just a couple minutes, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna simmer it. All right, now I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. We're gonna turn it to low, so we'll go about 250. We're just gonna let this simmer for a while. I'll come back in a couple minutes and we'll put the ghost pepper sauce in and we'll flip it. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go to 300. So we wanna have it on medium, and then we'll, I get this recipe confused. We wanna have it on medium, and then we'll go to low later to let it simmer, but we're gonna let it simmer on medium. Oh, so look at the mess I made. Maybe we'll go back to 275. There we go. All right, now we gotta put in a little bit of this ghost pepper sauce. Just a tiny bit for me. He goes pretty heavy with it, but just a little bit for me is all I need. Put a couple dabs on here. Do a couple dabs inside of the grease as well. And in order to balance out, we're gonna put a little bit more liquid smoke in here. Then I'm gonna give this a little baste. If I can fucking baste right, I'll use this. There we go. This will baste a little bit better. I'm gonna rub that ghost pepper sauce around the salmon. Fucking trolls, just leave it at the door. Quit texting me. Oh, this brown goop doesn't even smell good anymore. It smelled good earlier, but now it doesn't. There we go. Now we gotta flip it one more time. Take our spoon. We're gonna jack flip it, get it all over the place. Oh. Oh, try not to break all the skin when you do this too. Yeah, you can see it's gonna be red for a while. We'll baste this side a little bit too. Fuck it. Won't hurt nothing. Don't worry, we're gonna slow cook this here in a minute. I forgot if I smelled this already. Smells alright. It's definitely hot. It's definitely gonna be too hot for me. cover this again. Got a couple more minutes that I gotta cook this for. Oop. Let the water drain in there. And give it another little baste. Now we're gonna turn it to low. So I'm gonna do 250 for my low. We're gonna give this a flip. There we go. And we're gonna simmer this. Is that a piece of the salmon? It looks like a piece of the salmon, not the butter. But we're gonna let this go for about 15 minutes covered on low. And while it's on low, I'm gonna baste it just a little bit more. We want to make sure all the alcohol gets right inside of there. We don't want to leave no bit of liquid smoke unturned. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. All right, and I got my timer set for about 15 minutes. Every time I walk by it, the stench of the beer comes right out of here, and it fucking makes me sick. Fucking Bud Light Platinum. But I still got what? 5 more minutes before I have to turn it and let it go for another 15. So I'm just doing some cleaning while I wait. All right, it's been 15 minutes since that. So we're gonna take it, flip it. I'm gonna give it a little baste again too on the top. Oh, we can see our butter mixture congealing just nicely. We'll give this a little baste on the top here. Now we gotta give it one more flip and let it go for another 15 minutes. Let's give it a flip. There we go. Now we're cooking. Cover it back up and we'll set my timer. It's been the last 15 minutes, so let's check this out. You can see it's been simmering low and slow for a while. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna turn it up to about 350. I'm gonna baste the bottom side one last time. And we're just gonna let this cook a little bit longer until I feel we're done. Which if I take a little piece of it, we're pretty much there, but we're gonna see if we can get a nice little coating on the bottom there. See, I'm actually cooked all the way through, which is great. We want to see if we can get a little more boiled deliciousness on the one side, and then we can call it a day. You see how it comes apart pretty nice with the fork. See, it comes apart just nice. It looks pretty nice, honestly. And I'm surprised. But low and slow is the way to go. But you can't overcook fish. I'd rather have it overcooked than undercooked, as Cobes would say. And I got myself a plate here. We got the fine china of the paper plate, and we got a regular plate underneath because it's going to be a little bit juicy. Just a wee bit juicy. We only need to hyper cook this for another couple minutes. Because as you can see, my skin fell off earlier, but I can pull it and call it good. Might be able to get most of this in one piece, except for what I opened up there. Alright, I think that should be good. I'm going to turn this off. Take my spatula. See if we can drain a little bit of this into there. And we'll flip it right onto our plate using the spoon. We'll get these other couple pieces here too, and we'll just slide it back into place. Actually, I could turn it back over. There we go. And we'll get a little cup of this grease, I guess, to go with it too. So give me a second to set this all up, and then we'll try it. All right, so I got a bunch of trolls texting me now, but here's our beautiful salmon. Look at that cross section. It's glorious. So there's a couple things I wanted to go over first while this cools off just a little bit because it just came out of the pan. The first is, so for those who give a fuck and know I love Earth Defense Force 6, it's coming out Thursday the 25th, which I'm looking up because I got to think. Which is 1 week from today, so it's what, Thursday the 18th right now. Anyway, that Sunday, so that would be what, the 28th or 27th, around 10 p.m. EST my time, I'll be playing it with William the Alchemist, a dude who got hit by a bus and got isekai to a different world, and now he's a VTuber. So that'll be that. I do have a bunch of recipes coming. I've been busy. This is one of them. I am going to do one of his ribs too, which is why I was waiting on this Payne County Rust seasoning to do the ribs with. And I have a Should I Challenge with Guitarpunkmasta set. We have the ingredients. I just got to film, and he's still got to film too. I am going to do that brown recipe still. I just got to get a blender for that. And people want me to do a King Ass Ripper recipe, so I will look one of those up to do. And I think that's about it for what I'm set on for a while. But like I said, I'm going to be playing Earth Defense Force quite a bit. So if you want to join me for that, otherwise I don't expect anybody to. But this smells kind of like... It definitely smells the smokiness. It's definitely cooked quite long enough. The color's pretty nice. It's nice and pink still, which is great for me. But the beer flavor is definitely overpowering more than the smoky flavor. And now, I never had liquid smoke before. My parents hate it. The one time they got like a barbecue joint that used liquid smoke, or they smoked their own stuff. I can't remember. They probably smoked their own stuff. And it was too smoky for them. They threw it out before I had the chance to eat it. And there's even one pizza place they go to that they put liquid smoke in their sauce. I never had that pizza. I'm not a big fan of. They use like a sweet sauce for it, and I'm not big a fan. So I'm going to try this out. Like I said earlier, he used a mesquite and I used hickory. I'm going to kill myself and try this ghost pepper sauce, but after I try that, I have the blue cheese ready for that. I don't have any milk here, so hopefully the blue cheese will be enough. I have a little bit of the grease, so maybe I'll take a little lick of this. And I really want to try this rust seasoning. It smells pretty good, but first things first, we're going to try the salmon. And hopefully, I'm going to get the water open. Hopefully, the ghost pepper sauce that was in it doesn't kill me. Now, I don't mind too much saltiness. I don't know if the liquid smoke is super salty or not. Like I said, I don't know what liquid smoke really tastes like. I was told that they pretty much do bottle it. Now, a little bit of salt, but I forgot to shake it. Whatever. Anyway, we're going to have a little piece of this and we'll try it out. Smells okay. Honestly, it tastes pretty normal so far. Tastes like salmon. I don't know if I'm getting any. I think I'm getting like a dry taste, but I think that's from this rust seasoning. I don't know if it's much of the smoke flavor. I think most of the smoke flavor is probably still within the grease that's there. It's not offensive at all. It just tastes like salmon that's a little drier than it should be. Like, I mean, it's obviously wet and it's like nice and tender for me. Like, it's not Amber Lynn style of overcooked dried, but I can taste the smoke a little bit, but it's really not overpowering for how much is in there. Jesus. I don't taste the hot sauce yet. This is, for just being boiled, this is incredibly inoffensive. This is really good. Really good as in, I like salmon, obviously, if you would do it right. You would put the lemon, just do it with lemon and Dylan stuff. Now, he said in his video, the big reason he didn't put any lemon or cheese on top of it is because he didn't have any at the time. So we're lucky that I didn't have to put cheese on this. But I think I'm actually going to eat all this. This is actually really good. I'm genuinely surprised. I don't think... Yeah, it must have just stayed in the boiling mixture. But if you look at it, like I said, mine's nice and pink still, which is my favorite way to have salmon. See how nice it looks. But I think it's really, really good. Which, like I said, is genuinely surprising that this is not awful tasting. Let me see if I can just get some of the skin, because that was what got boiled a little bit more. Try the skin. Mostly just a butter taste. I don't really taste any of the smoke or, like I said, none of the hot sauce. But I did not use, I will admit, I did not use a lot of that hot sauce. I did not. Because I was scared. I think basting it was just mostly the butter and stuff. It's really good. So I'm gonna eat some of that, but since I'm curious, I just want to know what a dab of this liquid smoke tastes like. Sorry that the camera's down. Let me get a dab on my finger. There we go. Oop. There it is. Yeah, that's definitely a smoke flavor. I don't really... That isn't what's in this. That overpowering sensation from that's not what's coming into this salmon recipe at all. There's a little bit there. No, this is... I don't taste this in this, which is, like I said, impressive. Let me have a little dab of this now. My butter oil mixture. Yeah, it's just mostly oil and butter. Like I said, I can barely taste this in it. Let me have a little more dab. That bite had a little bit of this in there, but all the oil and the butter and even that beer just fucking overpowered it. I think a lot of it might have just got cooked out too. All right, let me try a little bit of this ghost pepper seasoning. Or excuse me, not seasoning, but let me actually try the seasoning first. I got a little bit on my finger here. Yeah, this is nice and salty. This tastes pretty good. What's in it? Salt, garlic, paprika. Yeah, this is good. And as like I said, as much as I put on this, I don't taste the overpowering salt flavor like this is coming off as. So these are all mixing together and funny enough, like canceling each other out, which is really, really strange. All right. Last thing, let me have a try this. You know what? I'm just gonna take a little off the lid. So I have just a tiny, 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 tiny bit. I took off the lid, like I just wiped on the lid. I'll try it. Oh fuck, that's hot. Some of this blue cheese. Ooh. Oh yeah, that was a mistake. Woo. I'm glad I don't taste that in this. Oh, my tongue's gonna be burning for a while. Alright, but you know what? Strangely enough, he made all these ingredients fucking cancel each other out. I don't know how he keeps doing it. But I am going to be mad at myself for that ghost pepper sauce. Maybe if I have a piece of this, it'll cancel it out. It's definitely on my tongue. Yeah, it all cancels out and it tastes like nicely cooked fish. I mean, for as good as you can boil it. Good job, Cobes. I honestly give this a fucking like 8.5 out of 10. If you weren't boiling it in beer, if you didn't tell me what happened to this, I would enjoy this. But if you told me, I'd be a little disappointed, but I don't really care now. Good job.